Hey, it's your Lifestyle is K, your secure woman mentor, and welcome back to another video. So today, I want to be honest, and the truth sometimes hurt, but it also is healing. So I want to discuss why you consistently get in repeated toxic relationships. Let's dive in. So right out the gate, I just want to be clear about something. We'll attract all types of people, right? It's only the ones that we engage with, the ones that we allow to enter our space and energy that we have to be careful about, right? So I don't want to say, hey, you attract who you are, you attract what you would. Hey, we're attracting all different types of people, but it's our lack of self worth and our lack of self esteem that keeps us in toxic relationships because of a certain thing that we're looking for within a person. When you lack self worth and self esteem, there's certain aspects of a person that you look at that mimics your low self worth and your low self esteem, right? And usually, what happens, your low self esteem can look like you overcare, you overgive, you are codependent, but their lack of self esteem and self worth comes off more as toxic and not feeling good enough. So they cheat or they do certain things. So then you have this dynamic within this relationship where you both have a low self esteem and a low worth, but you guys are portraying it in different ways. So your low self esteem and your low self worth is keeping you in repeated toxic relationships. It's keeping you attracting and then engaging into relationships that are extremely unhealthy for you. So, how do we fix that? We work on building our self worth. We work on building our self esteem. And don't feel bad. We all have some type of self esteem or self worth issue in some capacity. But that's what you call growth. That's what you call healing. And that's what you call doing the work. If you're hearing this right now, do the work. You're worth it. And I'm always remind you on this channel that you're worth the work. Another reason people consistently get into repeated toxic relationships is because you're it's because of your belief in potential over reality. One thing I always say is I can see all the potential in you, but if you don't see it in yourself, there's nothing that I can do that's going to help you see it in yourself. Because a lot of times what happens is that you could see something in someone and you attempt to push them, and then you're the one that they attack. You're the one that they become mad at and begin to hate because you're seeing something in them that they don't even see in themselves. So you have to trust the reality of what a person is giving you, right? When a person show you who they are, believe them. And honestly, you believing in their potential, great. A lot of people have potential. You have potential. But trying to push out potential in an adult that would rather wallow in their lack, it will never work. So we have to work on our self esteem and our self worth. And we have to start taking people at face value, not the potential that we see in them. So we're no longer leading with potential. And also, potential can lead into romanticizing a person. You could see how great a relationship would be with them if they, if they did this, if they just changed this, if they just healed this. You can't change anyone. You can only change yourself. And that's what we're doing. We're working on us. And I think the biggest one that we all can kind of relate to and that we see a lot of the times when it comes to repeated toxic relationships is the trauma bonding. Our lack of healing our own traumas, our lack of taking the steps to go on the healing journey. A lot of us would just rather wallow in our trauma, which keeps us in consistently toxic relationships that are only adding to the trauma that we already have. It's about reflection and self awareness. And if you know that there are some things within yourself, childhood trauma, old relationship traumas, whatever the case may be, you have to take time out with yourself to heal those, to work on those, to really dive deep, get deep with yourself, and take that journey to healing. One thing I want to remind you is that healing is a journey. Healing is a journey. So as you take this healing journey, just remember that you're only becoming better. It's never a completely healed, but it's just being aware of the trauma that you have and being aware of the healing techniques that you have learned through your journey of healing, right? And implementing those on a day to day basis. Healing is intentional, healing is a journey. And another one is you have a fixer or rescuer mentality. A fixer or rescuer mentality. You want to fix everybody. You want to rescue everyone. Granted, that just speaks to the person that you are. That is not anything to shy away from. But you have to learn to pick carefully and intentionally who you decide to allow in your space of a fixer and a rescuer. You want to make sure that you are giving yourself to people who appreciate the person that you are and a person who will not take advantage of that, right? Because in some capacity, we all need someone to balance us out and help us. And that's part of a relationship. We give and take, give and take, give and take, right? But as a fixer or rescuer, a lot of times you find people who just take, 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 and they never give. And you find yourself in repeated toxic relationships because you find yourself always in relationships where a person just want to take from you, manipulate you, use you up. So learning who you are and realizing that everyone doesn't deserve you. And the wrong person definitely doesn't deserve you. So you want to make sure that as you're learning yourself and understanding how you operate, that you're only allowing yourself to be involved with people who appreciate you and will not take you for granted. Now, this is just part one of why you consistently get into repeated toxic relationships. There is so much more to it, but I wanted to start here because a lot of times we have to realize that a repeated toxic relationships is not the other person's fault. It really depends on us. We can't help who we attract, but we can help who we allow in our life. We can help who we allow ourselves to go the miles with, right? And so during this time, I want you to really think about it. I tell you, I always speak from a place of experience. I've been there. A prior video, I told you that I married two narcissistic men. So, yeah, I definitely have some of these traits. And I realized that about myself because I'm self aware. And so now I know how to move, right? And I'm consistently healing. This journey never ends for me, and it should never end for you because you're constantly growing. And that's the beauty of healing. That's the beauty of growing. And that's the beauty of building your self esteem, your self worth. So, as we become more aware of ourselves, realizing who we are and how we operate when it comes to relationships, this allows us to choose properly and say no to things that do not what? That do not build us up, that don't serve us. This allows us to realize what doesn't serve us and say no to it. And if you're watching this at this very moment, you're ready to say no to the things that no longer serve you. You deserve the best relationship, but the best relationship starts with you. So we're working on building our own self worth, our self esteem, our ability to unengage or not engage with people who don't serve our highest and greatest good. You deserve the best, but it starts with you giving yourself the best. And so we're saying no to consistent, repeated toxic relationships because we deserve the best and you're going to get the best.